You, dear audience, will be my guinea pigs. I will tell you some stories and play a few songs, and naturally you will want to clap, but I'm asking you not to. I'm serious. There's only one rule. Don't clap. This is not a concert. This is a performance. When I was 17, I taught myself to play the guitar, not just to entertain others at the campfire. I took my teenage pain that I was feeling, I twisted and turned it until it became music. I wrote about my dreams and hopes and fears, and most of my songs are about being in love. To this day, playing guitar and singing songs is my most important creative outlet. It's my safety blanket. But it has always been rather private. What I am sharing with you tonight has never been public before. My hands may be shaking, my voice may be trembling, but I am not scared. I am excited. This could be a fantastic idea or a terrible one. Tonight we will find out together. I am standing before you on a stage with a microphone, so I appear to have some authority, but don't let that fool you. From coming up with the idea to convincing others to help me pull it off, from writing to practicing, to getting up on this stage, I keep asking myself, what the fuck am I doing? I'm going to play you a song about a guy who I was in love with once. It's about a guy whose virginity I took and who afterwards experienced his very first pregnancy scare. As you can imagine, he freaked out. He told me he was too young to have a baby. He listed all the things he would rather spend his money on. He said he couldn't love it because it would only remind him of the things he wouldn't have time for. He obsessed over this so much, over and over, until any feelings I had for him crumbled away under the pressure of his selfish existential crisis over an event that hadn't even occurred. I wasn't pregnant with this baby. I was pregnant with rage. The song is called One Step. It always starts with a bet. We were daring and bold, what no one could have guessed had begun to unfold. It always starts with a smile and a hug and a laugh, but the joke isn't funny. You're not as tough as I thought. One step to the left, one step to the right. You're losing your balance, I'm losing this fight. One step to the left, one step to the right. Just one step too far to step out of the night. What could have been a fun ride soon felt like a bad dream when I realized you're not as funny as you seem. There's always two sides to a story. You do the math, I make the call, and in between those calculations, you're just as selfish as them all. One step to the left, one step to the right. You're losing your balance, I'm losing this fight. One step to the left, one step to the right. Just one step too far to step out of the night. I'm tired of breaking your records. What would you do if it goes wrong? Talking about resentment. You're not as loving as I'd want. Over such a small thing, your world came tumbling. Your world came tumbling down. Over such a small thing, your world came tumbling. Your world came tumbling down. such a small thing, your world came tumbling, your world came tumbling down. Over such a small thing, such a small thing, such a small thing. One step to the left, one step to the right. You're losing your balance, I'm losing this fight. One step to the left, one step to the right. Just one step too far to step out of the night. One step to the left, one step to the right. Just one step too far to step out of the night. I used to wrap my feelings into music. I wrote songs that I hardly ever sang to anyone. I sing them to myself. This song was never meant to be heard by anyone. This song shouldn't even exist, and no one should know its true meaning. But I had to write it, because of a secret I was forced to keep. Today I am freeing myself of that burden, to make my story an example of art that can transfer feelings from my brain to yours. I didn't write that song so that other people could empathize with me. I wrote it so that I could take revenge and tell my story the way I remember it. Since that day, I haven't written another song. Perhaps I have moved on to another medium that may or may not be more powerful than my music. Now I wrap my feelings into games. But honestly, I still don't know what the fuck I am doing. My 7-year-old nephew Odin is a huge fan of dragons and dinosaurs. He's been drawing them since he was 4 years old. My sister sent me some pictures, and I thought they were so good. So good, I had to turn them into a video game. So I made Dynamo. You get to be this huge dinosaur, and you can stomp and roar and protect your baby dinosaurs. Odin loves the game so much. Every time he talks to me, he lists a number of game design changes and new additions he would like me to implement. He loves it so much. Every time I come to visit, he asks me for a list of items and characters in my new game so he can draw concept art for them, which he delivers with a sigh. He is a professional. My family had a hard time understanding what it means to do what I do, which ultimately means that they don't really know who I am. Making Dynamo helped me connect with my nephew, and it allowed me to show my family how personal video games can be. Breakup is a VR vignette of the last endlessly looping conversations between two lovers as their relationship inevitably drifts towards its end. Breakup wasn't meant to be played by anyone. I made it because I needed it to exist, so I could have an alternate reality where breaking up with my boyfriend happens exactly the way I remember. This game is not about empathy, it's about me. And let's be honest for a moment. Whatever game or project you're working on, no matter which noble cause you are pursuing, whoever you consider your target audience, make no mistake, you are making that game for yourself. I need you to know that I am a good person. I need to do something with my life that makes me feel good about myself, something that is worthwhile doing, something meaningful, something that will last when I'm long gone. So the world has something good to remember me by. But let me be clear, I don't have the faintest idea what the fuck I am doing. The next song is a song I learned to play for my mother's birthday. Taylor Swift wrote it for her mother, and it's so much more beautiful than anything I could ever say. So I played it for her birthday, along with pictures from her life. This song comes with a trigger warning. If you listen closely to the words and think about the ones who raised you, this song could reach right into your heart. I'm 5 years old, it's getting cold. I got my big coat on. I hear you laugh and look up, smiling at you. I run and run past the pumpkin patch and the tractor rides. Look now, the sky is gold. I hug your legs and fall asleep on the way home. And I don't know why all the trees change in the fall. I know that you're not scared of anything at all. Don't know if Snow White's house is near or far away, but I know I had the best day with you today. I'm 13 now and don't know how my friends could be so mean. I come home crying and you hold me tight and grab the keys. And we drive and drive until we find a town far enough away. And we talk and window shop till I've forgotten all their names. And I don't know who I'm gonna talk to now at school, but I know I'm laughing on the car ride home with you. Don't know how long it's gonna take to feel okay, but I know I had the best day with you today. I have an excellent father. His strength is making me stronger. God smiles on my little brother. Inside and out, he's better than I am. I grew up in a pretty house and I had space to run, and I had the best days with you. There is a video I found from back when I was 3. You set up a paint set in the kitchen and you're talking to me. It's the age of princesses and pirate ships and the 7 dwarfs. My daddy's smart and you're the prettiest lady in the whole wide world. And now I know why all the trees change in the fall. I know you were on my side even when I was wrong. And I love you for giving me your eyes, for staying back and watching me shine. And I didn't know if you knew, so I'm taking this chance to say that I had the best day with you today. The funny thing is, me and my mom never had a great relationship. We are both incredibly dominant and stubborn, and most of my time as a teenager, I remember fighting with her just so she would let me be who I am. Singing the song and looking at these photographs is making me sentimental because it's the relationship I wish we had. Everyone wishes they had with their parents, unless your parents are already amazing, which, according to my research, is actually possible. Isn't it strange, though, that some personal photographs, some hopeful lyrics, and the sound of two women's voices can make you sentimental about a relationship that doesn't even exist? You felt it, didn't you? You were touched, weren't you? You were not? Then what the fuck am I doing? When everyone started talking about Instagram banning pictures of women with uncovered nipples, I decided to make a game about it. In The Nipple Effect, you see cropped images of male and female breasts and chests. You have to cover up the female nipples with pasties and tassels, and soon you begin to notice that they are not binary. Between breast and chest is a spectrum of shapes, just as there is between feminine and masculine. It took me a week to make this shitty prototype at Castle Game Jam last summer, and I don't think it's ready yet. So I keep putting off publishing it anywhere, and I will probably never finish it. I'm a shitty programmer, I don't know how to find the right pictures on the internet, and the longer I wait, the more excuses I come up with. I've been looking at so many games with a higher purpose: political games, health games, learning games, social impact games. And there's one question that I can't quite find the answer to. What can we really achieve with these games? We don't know how to assess how much you really learn, so instead we measure the player's motivation to keep playing learning games. We can't quantify resilience, so we base our success rate on opinions. We can't be sure what another human is really feeling anyway, so we don't even bother trying to measure empathy. Is a child mentally better equipped to fight cancer after shooting animated cancer cells in a video game? As a cis person, can you really understand what it's like to be transgender just by playing Dysphoria? Think about your political views, and then about the opposition. As a concrete example that probably works for most of you, imagine a Trump voter. Imagine their political views and how they came to believe them. Do you think somebody could make a game that allowed you to truly understand and empathize with them to a degree where you would change your political views? Of course not, is what you were going to say, I hope. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's just a video game. So why would you think you can do the opposite? Because you are right? Because you have the facts on your side? Damn, son, you got a lot of that empathy going around for people who are not like you. So, what does empathy really mean? Can academia help us put our feelings on a scale from 1 to 10? Neil Burton says, empathy is a person's ability to recognize and share the emotions of another sentient being. It involves first, seeing someone else's situation from their perspective, and second, sharing their emotions, including their distress. Empathy is often confused with pity, sympathy, and compassion, which are each reactions to the misery of others. Pity is a feeling of discomfort at the distress of other sentient beings, and often has paternalistic or condescending overtones. Sympathy is a feeling of care and concern for someone without a shared perspective or shared emotions. While the facial expressions of sympathy do convey caring and concern, they do not convey shared distress. Compassion is more engaged than simple empathy and is associated with an active desire to alleviate the suffering of its object. When someone stubs their toe and cries out in pain, you recognize their pain. Everyone has stubbed their toe before. But if you've never felt that kind of pain, can you imagine it? Can you extrapolate from toe pain to menstrual pain to the pain of losing a loved one? Is it empathy or sympathy? And why is that differentiation important? And what if I don't want anyone to empathize with my experience? What if I don't even believe it's possible? What if that has nothing to do with why I make those games? Robert Yang said something that I can't get out of my head. He said, Straight empathy suddenly makes my games more about how beautiful and benevolent the straight people are to tolerate my gay existence instead of vomiting, instead of highlighting gay culture and queer solidarity as I intended. Robert Yang says, I don't want your empathy, I want justice. When my stepfather turned 60, me and my sisters decided to do something special for him. We made a game about his life that allowed him to go back when he was 27 and decided to live his life in a completely different way. Instead of a successful, now retired businessman, he could become a secret agent, a super hacker, or a president of the United States. Having someone make a video game for you is one of the most amazing presents you can ever get. But even more amazing than the look on my stepdad's face when he played it for the first time was working together with my sisters, doing conference calls on Skype to discuss the story and figure out how we could cram as many jokes, puns, and references to his life into the few lines of dialogue we had available. We wrote a half-fictional, half-autobiographical story that split into 5 timelines and endings. I bonded with my family over making games together. My stepdad asked me if I could turn this into a service, so for fun I calculated the hours that we spent on the project. With code, story, graphics, voiceover recordings, and testing, it took around 1,000 hours to make the game. So, who would pay $20,000 to give some tiny mediocre video game as a present? Although there is something fascinating about games for a single-player audience. They obviously follow no business model. They have low chances of reaching a broader audience, but since that isn't their goal, their success is measured by one person's impression, and sometimes just by their mere existence. Every time my bank account hits 0 and I don't know how to pay my rent, I'm asking myself the same damn question. What the fuck am I doing? I don't feel like anyone appreciates me, at least not the way I deserve. I'm not sure that what I'm doing is really meaningful. And why didn't I get a real job? I want to be successful. Be careful what you wish for. How successful can you get before it fucks you up? Today I'm making games like my life depends on it. Could I still do that if I was rich? Or even if I was just okay? I don't want to end up like Notch. Nobody wants to be Notch. We want to be able to make a living. We want to create something that is new and fascinating and meaningful. I know I can survive even when I'm not successful. There's this space between being too poor to justify this game developer lifestyle and being too comfortable, too content to have any good reason to try so damn hard. But we've seen people who've become successful and then stopped making games because they had nothing left to prove. Or they didn't want to grow out of fear of becoming corporate. Success is my biggest fear. I want to make games that change the world, but that phrase has been overused. In looking at the games I've made, what can they change, really? Jonas said, the resist jam is bullshit. If you really want to make an impact, you have to use your body. Go demonstrate, go vote, show up. People don't believe in that stuff anymore. Instead, we're sitting in our basements making games as if games could ever make a real difference. As a game developer, I can design every little thing you can do in a game. But every player is different, and I cannot guarantee that my system will work for everyone. What I can do is trying to make the most fertile ground for your experience that I want you to have. But I can't force you to play. I can't make you play the way I intended. And I can't make you feel the feelings I felt that led me to make this game. Because if I did, you'd probably have to make a video game about that too. And soon, no one would ever have any real experiences. There's already too many games out there. Let's face it. All unrealistic, idealistic LSD dream castles aside, being a game designer doesn't give me magic powers. I can't really do anything to you, nothing to change your mind or your behavior, unless you let me. I can't lift the travel ban, I can't stop wars, I can't stop sexism or racism or transphobia or body shaming or any other kind of discrimination, but I can make you care. Everything else is up to you.
spare.